Tiger's Peak has finished repairs. Team colors have been changed from golden green to golden purple. Voidstone's ability to absorb has been reduced by 30% for healers and 60% for non-healers. Diamond Lace Refractive Prism absorption shield has been reduced by 30% for tank specialization, 60% for non-tank. I don't know what this is, but I assume it's it was the gloves from that boss. Wow, these are great changes. When does this happen, guys? When does this happen? Casting Overgrowth with Soul of the Forest is active. Now increase the healing over Overgrowth's rejuvenation instead of its regrowth heal over time effect. Wait, what does this mean? Oh. Okay, that's a fair change. That's a fair change. Wow, what? That's so insane. This is a big buff for Disc Priest. Oh, they nerfed it though. They made it shorter cooldown, less effective. Trinity increased. This is a big change. That's really big. This is a really big change too. Oh wow. This seems like a nerf to Lightning Lasso, guys. Seems like a nerf. Wait a second. There's a lot of changes here. The only thing that worries me is players must now cast escape abilities before leaving combat. Vanish and Shadow Melt. Does this mean that you literally never leave combat? Does this mean you never leave combat? It's got to be worded wrong, right? This has got to be worded wrong, right? I imagine this is just to fix the combat bug, not to make it so you can never leave combat in arena, right? It's under bug fixes. So you can't Shadow Melt drink? No, you can. Shadow Melt will leave you combat. I assume it's just to fix the combat bug. Guys, the only thing that really worries me here is items. Guys, they're nerfing all these items. They're nerfing all these Crucible items, but the new raid is going to come out, and the new raid items are going to be even more overpowered, aren't they? This is actually a quality of life change, in my opinion. It's actually a pretty nice change. Let me read the Endless Affliction no longer increases the duration of Unstable Affliction. Now leaves a 10-second debuff on the target after the final Unstable Affliction runs its full duration. Dispelling Endless Affliction will silence damage and increase damage taken by 10%. Casting Unstable Affliction on a target that has Endless Affliction will remove active will remove it. A new aura icon will indicate to healers that has Endless Affliction. What does Endless Affliction do? Our intention with the Endless Affliction is to allow the Warlock to opt into longer Dispel protection for their enemy teams over damage spell. The previous version of it came at a cost of slowing down the rate at which they deal damage. We've broken the Dispel protection off into its own debuff so it doesn't change the Warlock's damage profile. So it's literally just a debuff? Look at Shadow Priest. This looks like a nerf to Lightning Lasso. Honestly, guys, a lot of these changes seem really good, but it feels like they did nothing until this point. You know, it's so weird to me. We increase the importance of healer mana management in arenas by battlegrounds, reducing mana regen. Due to Discipline's healing style, this spec tends to run out of mana much faster. We're adjusting Dome of Light to allow it used more frequently but with less damage reduction, give them an additional tool to recover after crowd control. I think that's actually probably a pretty decent change. Disc Priest actually might be not bad at all. Their mana regen's fixed a little bit. They have an additional cooldown. Dome is going to be a little bit better. Trinity is now going to allow them to do more healing. Those all seem kind of nice. Unbound Freedom now grants the Paladin Blessing of Freedom when cast on another target. Unbound Freedom now prevents Blessing of Freedom from being dispelled when cast on the same target. I don't really know what this means. Unbound Freedom is an underperforming talent that leans into Red's core strength of enabling their allies by applying... What is Unbound Freedom, guys? A non-dispellable freedom seems pretty decent for Red. They definitely have mobility issues. But I'm not sure what that is. Damage increase. Damage increase. Thunderclap damage reduced 30% from 100%. That's definitely really OP for prot for sure. Increased damage by 50%. Shadow Pain reduced by 9. VT reduced by 9. We believe that damage over time specializations that maintain a variety of dot spells. It's interesting. These both being reduced by 9 is going to hurt them quite a bit in PvP. Increased by 15%. Glacial Spike increased by 7%. The Mastery is okay, I guess. Interesting changes. I don't really know any of this Frost stuff, but Mez said he thinks Frost will be pretty good next patch. Increased chance of proc runic empowerment. Ice Cap got buffed to reduce cooldown Pillar by 2 seconds instead of 1 second. Frost Fever chance to grant runic power increased by 30%. Frost Strike damage increased by 15%. Breath of Sindragosa increased by 10%. Now generates Breath of Sindragosa now generates 2 runes when cast and another 2 when it expires. That's really good. Breath of Sindragosa costs 16 up from 15. Frost was starred resources too often, especially when using Breath. This increases Frost rune income baseline. Yeah, those are pretty good changes for Frost. So let's check the PvP changes for Frost. I mean, those are just all damage buffs, right? Like, Chill Streak no longer does damage based on the target's maximum health. Chill Streak now deals an additional percent of attack power per bounce to applicable targets. I don't actually know if that's good or not. Chill Streak doesn't do percent base damage. Chill Streak no longer adheres to maximum health percentage PvP talent restrictions. No idea what that means. Chill Streak can now critical strike scale with your increased damage modifiers, mastery, and benefit from damage taken debuffs on the target. We're changing Chill Streak from base on the target's maximum health to the one based on the Death Knight's attack power. This one has the effect of dealing damage more equally against targets of any range. Oh, wow. So I guess it's a buff to Chill Streak, which is going to be pretty good. Yo, Ustrin, man, thank you so much for the 5 gifted, brother. I appreciate it, man. Chill Streak's coming to PvE, so they changed its scale. Oh. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I actually like, I think, all of these changes. Does there need to be more? Does there need to be more? Absolutely. Not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed to see no changes to Resto Shaman. I think Resto Shaman healing is really bad. I don't know if this is enough for Disc Priest. Obviously, everyone knows Disc Priest is a problem. These are definitely solid Disc Priest buffs. Is it enough? I'm not sure. Ultimate Radiance getting buffed to 250 from 200. That's a huge instant healing buff. Trinity getting buffed from 20 to 12. That's a huge buff. Being able to use Dome of Light more often, I think is good in some situations and worse in others. For example, normally you probably lined it up with a Rogue's Vendetta, for example, so you only used it every 2 minutes. So nerf in some ways, a buff in others. So definitely, and mana obviously buff for Disc. Definitely some solid changes for Disc Priest, which was a huge problem. No changes for Holy Priest, which are non-existent. Lightning Lasso, I believe, got nerfed, which is a good thing in my opinion. This Affliction Warlock buff is not going to be nearly enough to make them viable in my opinion. I think Frost Decays sound like they're going to be good. No changes to Resto Druids. For the most part, this is actually a nice quality of life change, but it doesn't really matter that much. Nerf to all that. Whoa, I'm Ellie for this BG, guys. I'm Ellie for this BG. Okay, I'm down. I'm down. Let's crank. Nerf to all the Crucible gear, but I mean, this is just going to be a slap in the face if they don't nerf the new gear that follows it. This actually happened when Crucible came out. When Crucible came out, they nerfed all the Battle of Dazara lore gear. Then Crucible gear came out, and it was like, LOL. You know, now no one's using that gear anymore. You just nerfed it. Now they're using the new OP gear. So if they don't nerf the new OP gear, this change is kind of irrelevant as well. They're nerfing Twink power leveling. Tiger's Peak is coming back, which I am personally happy about. But yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. TLDR, Frost Decays look good. Disc Priest look better. I'm not sure if it's good enough. Shadow Priest got random nerfs. That's definitely going to hurt them in PvP. Other than that, not really too much changed. I would definitely like to see more change for sure. Definitely would like to see more changed.